What's going on, everyone? So, we got confirmation from Anna Camp herself that she is indeed going to be Sidney Prescott's friend and neighbor. That they are going to have a relationship. They are going to be besties. They are going to be neighbors and all that stuff. And okay, cool. Right now, obviously, that begs the question of, is she involved? Is she going after Sidney? Now, me personally, I said that I would prefer that that's not the route that they go, that I hope that they don't make her the killer, because it's just like, how many of Sydney, everyone just that Sydney lets in, like, she's a terrible judgment of character, right? Like, because everyone she lets in her life wants to kill her at some point. So it's like, at some point, Sydney needs to hold some accountability, because everybody just wants her dead. Boyfriends, friends, you name it. I mean, even Haley or Hallie was supposed to be the, I don't know where it said Haley. Hallie was supposed to be the original killer of Scream 2 and all that stuff, right? Like, so again, I don't want them to go that route. I've talked about her potentially being the killer route, but I want to talk about something very specific with her being the killer. Now, obviously, it depends on the timeline, right? How long have her and Sydney known each other? How long have they been friends? Did she just move into the city, into the town or the street or whatever? Did Sydney just move? Right? Or is it something where they've been living there for 10 years and they've known each other? Because again, depending on the timeline can make things very complicated, because it's like, if they've been neighbors for 10 years, it took you 10 years to go after Sidney Prescott and try to kill her, right? Like, you didn't think after year 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, like, what made the 10th year? Like, it's like, nah, my master plan is to just wait it out 10 years and then boom, here we go, right? Like, here we are. Like, no, if you're going to do it, right? But what could make sense if you were to kind of build the relationship and rapport would be if she had ties to the past, right? Such as, what about a Leslie Macher, right? Now, here's the thing. First thing that immediately comes to mind about that would be, wouldn't she recognize Leslie Macher? Wouldn't she recognize Stu's sister, right? Like, that's the whole thing. But a couple things about that. One, right, we don't know, because we don't have any information, because she wasn't in Scream 96, right? We don't know, like, how much older was she? How much did, like, how familiar was she with her? Right? Did she just kind of see her in passing, or just kind of see photos of her? Like, right? Like, I know Woodsboro's a small town and everybody knows everybody type thing, but like, also, if you're just kind of seeing somebody at a glance or in a pass from time to time, or just like a hey type thing, you don't really have that rapport. Like, her recognizing Mrs. Loomis right away, she probably spent time at their house and knew each other and all this. Like, Sydney wasn't dating Stu, and she probably wasn't at Stu's house regularly and stuff. She probably just saw the sister in passing. Where, like, Billy's sister, it made sense, because it's like, she's probably seeing her every day. She probably is familiar with her every day, so on and so forth, right? So that's a thing, right? But the other side of that is, depending on how much time's passed and whatnot, and you go away from people, and she changes enough where you saw her as a kid. Like, there's people that I knew at 15 that if I saw today, I'd probably never recognize. I'd be like, who the hell is that? Like, and be best friends growing up even. I'd be like, who is that? Right? Like, so you do get enough change. You got to keep in mind, like, Mrs. Loomis was probably grown and aged enough to where, there's still those similarities. Where Leslie Macher, from, let's say, 20 to 50, right? Like, it's drastic change. She probably looks very different. So wanted to kind of get that kind of like, oh, well, what about this out of the way type thing, right? But talk about it, right? You would imagine Leslie Macher's probably not just going to show up, kick the door in, and go after Sydney, right? Haha, I'm coming to get you, right? But I could see something where she, has this scheme, this master plan, comes in, gets involved, goes, okay, I'm going to do X, Y, and Z. come close, build that relationship. Sidney's not just going to let anyone in immediately, right? She'd probably take a while to really build up that rapport, build up that relationship. So if you're Leslie Mock, you're thinking like, hey, it's probably going to be a year or two. Got to get comfortable, got to kind of sit in, become a fixture, right? Especially if they go like the cult route or end up with like the cult idea, right? Because like you're probably putting together, there's probably steps, right? If you really want to go through with it, outside of like just going in guns blazing, right? But we've seen Ghostface time and time again kind of do the guns blazing thing. You got to imagine like at some point a Ghostface is going to be like, you know what? I should probably like really, plan this. I should probably really break this down, right? I mean, even Billy and Stu like had been planning for like years at that point, right? So, I could see something where Anna Camp's character is doing working the plan, working Sidney, trying to grow and build that rapport and that relationship with Sidney. And then at the end, it's like, haha, like what you did to my kid, Vince, and what you did to this, that, and the other, haha, right? Like, I really think the idea of Leslie Mocker really boils down to how long she's been in wherever Sidney's at, right? Like if she's been there for 10 years, then probably not, right? Because Vince died, even with the time jump and everything. It'd probably be, what would it be, 6 years, something like that, right? So it's like she lived next to Sidney for 4 years before that, like, and Sidney never realized that, like, you know what I mean? Like, but if it's something where she's been there for, say, 3 years, right? Built that relationship the last 3 years with Sidney. It's like, okay, timeline lines up with Vince. Get the good old fashioned revenge, right? You killed my son. You killed my brother, right? Like all of this is because of you and your mother type thing, yada, yada. Like I could see that playing a part, playing a role and being like, okay, cool. That makes some sense, right? But at the end of the day, we'll see. We'll see how it all plays out and kind of what direction they go with that and how they want to approach that. But I do think Leslie Mocker has some real potential. I think that there is a path or version of this where we see maybe Leslie Mocker, Anna Camp be Leslie Mocker in the upcoming Scream 7 movie. Again, I don't think anything should be off the table right now. I mean, obviously there's some things that are more far-fetched than others. I think, again, it really boils down to me, the timeline, like how long has she been living there, right? Because that is very important to kind of making it all fit. But let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments. That being said, if you like this video, hit that like button. Helps me a lot. It's me enjoy these types of videos, and I truly appreciate it. Not subscribe channel, hit that subscribe button. Turn on the bell notifications. Appreciate y'all. See you in the next one. Thank you.